Have you ever found yourself agreeing to something you didn't want to do, even when it drained you or went against your own needs? Perhaps you said yes out of habit, fear of conflict, or a desire to make others happy. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. The roots of this struggle often trace back to childhood. Learning to say no isn't just a matter of willpower. It's deeply tied to family dynamics and early emotional lessons. As a child, many of us were taught that our value came from pleasing others. Parents, teachers, or caregivers may have rewarded compliance and punished resistance, teaching us that saying no could lead to conflict, disappointment, or withdrawal of love and attention. Over time, we internalize the belief that asserting our own needs is selfish or wrong. This early programming becomes an automatic voice in our minds, whispering, "If you choose yourself, someone else will be hurt." Children in families with high expectations or conditional love often develop people-pleasing tendencies as a survival mechanism. They learn to anticipate others' needs, accommodate demands, and suppress their own desires to maintain peace and approval. While these behaviors were adaptive in childhood, they often become automatic patterns in adulthood, leaving us feeling guilty or anxious whenever we attempt to set boundaries and prioritize ourselves. Fear of conflict is another major factor. If disagreement in your household was met with anger or criticism, saying no could feel unsafe. Over time, the brain associates refusal with danger or rejection, and as adults, this manifests as avoidance. You might overcommit to tasks, agree to things you don't want, or feel tense whenever you think about asserting yourself. Guilt is at the core of this struggle. Even when you know saying no is healthy, you may feel a lingering sense of shame. This guilt is often rooted in a subconscious message that others' needs are more important than your own. Consequently, you may overextend yourself, neglect self-care, or avoid expressing your preferences, believing that keeping others happy is your responsibility even when it costs your energy, time, or emotional health. This pattern impacts relationships, work, and mental health. People who struggle to say no often experience chronic stress. They may feel trapped by obligations, unable to assert boundaries, and disconnected from their own desires. Over time, the inability to say no can create cycles of burnout, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. Another consequence is difficulty in asserting personal boundaries. You may allow others to overstep or take advantage of your time. You might overcommit socially, professionally, or emotionally, and yet feel powerless to correct the imbalance. This lack of boundaries reinforces the original childhood programming that your needs are secondary. Breaking this pattern begins with awareness. Start noticing when you automatically say yes out of habit or fear. Ask yourself, am I saying yes because I truly want to, or because I'm afraid of conflict or rejection? Awareness allows you to identify the old messages that govern your behavior and distinguish between automatic reactions and conscious choice. Next, practice saying no in small, safe situations. Begin with low-stakes decisions. Pay attention to the discomfort, anxiety, or guilt that arises, and remind yourself that prioritizing your needs does not make you selfish. Repetition is key. Each small act of saying no strengthens your confidence, helping you recognize that your well-being matters. Setting boundaries is also essential. Boundaries are not walls. They are tools for self-respect and emotional health. They teach both yourself and others that your time, energy, and emotions have value. Clearly communicated boundaries reduce stress, prevent overcommitment, and help create balanced relationships where mutual respect exists. Over time, boundary setting transforms automatic compliance into conscious choice, freeing you from the weight of unnecessary obligations. Therapy, journaling, or reflective practices can provide additional support. Exploring childhood experiences, understanding learned patterns, and processing emotions tied to people-pleasing can help dismantle internalized beliefs. By reframing the message from "I must always say yes" to "I am allowed to prioritize my needs without guilt," you reclaim autonomy and begin to approach life with clarity, confidence, and self-respect. It's also important to cultivate self-compassion. Saying no is not an act of selfishness. It is an act of self-care and courage. Honoring your own limits and desires allows you to show up more fully for others without resentment or exhaustion. Over time, practicing assertiveness, self-validation, and healthy boundaries rewires subconscious patterns, empowering you to navigate life with authenticity and balance. Ultimately, struggling to say no is not a flaw. It's a learned response rooted in survival strategies from childhood. By understanding its origins and practicing assertiveness, you can reclaim control, reduce guilt, and cultivate a life aligned with your values. Choosing yourself is not wrong. It is essential for growth and fulfillment. The moment you embrace your right to say no, you begin to rewrite a lifelong pattern. You learn that self-prioritization is not betrayal, but freedom. It allows you to nurture relationships consciously, to honor your own needs without shame, and to step into your adult life with confidence, clarity, and a newfound sense of empowerment. Saying no becomes a declaration. Your needs matter, your voice matters, and your life is yours to live fully.